Welcome to another Put Power Down video. In today's video, I have the 2016 Ford F-350 Super Duty. Starting off with the outward appearance of the 2016 Ford F-350 Super Duty, I definitely do like this huge chrome grille that you have right here. It says Super Duty right on the top. Then of course you have this ginormous Ford badge right here that is actually bigger than the size of my hand. And you know, the front end of this vehicle definitely brings attention to it. Like I said, this huge chrome grille is definitely noticeable in traffic. And then looking towards the top of the vehicle, you of course have your amber lights up there. Moving on to the towing mirrors right here that are just absolutely huge, and I'll get more to those later about exactly how those can be used. And then just moving towards the side of the vehicle, I really do like this red color right here that Ford has. They offer it on a lot of vehicles. You of course have your 6.7 power stroke badge right here. Then moving further back, you of course have the dually setup. Dually means that it has 6 wheels, and that improves towing and stuff like that, and I'll definitely get more into that later on in the video. And then of course, moving towards the rear of the vehicle, you definitely have a ton of room back there with an absolutely ginormous bed, along with all your trailer hookups that you would need to do anything, whether you be towing an RV, towing a trailer for a construction site or something like that. You have those hookups back there just ready to go. Just an absolutely massive mud flaps that you have back there as well, that are back there with the wheels under the wheel well. Like I said, just an absolutely massive truck overall. I definitely do like the styling of the truck, especially this front end that I talked about previously. So overall, I really do like the outward appearance of this truck. Now, starting off with the interior of the 2016 Ford F-350, the interior size definitely matches the size of the outward appearance. I mean, it is absolutely massive in here. You have more than enough room to just basically have a whole family in here, a whole crew of, crew members if you're doing a construction job or anything like that. Just an abundance of room. Just starting off with the back seat back there, just a huge amount of room. You know, I think you'd have to be at least over 6'5" to be uncomfortable back there, or even that begin to try and even be uncomfortable back there. Even with the seat all the way back right now, I still have a ton of room back there just for anyone really to sit back there. Definitely a lot of kids would have a ton of room back there. Then moving of course to the front seat, I'm sitting right now in the driver's seat. Of course I have the steering wheel right in front of me. I have these nice I have a nice leather wheel that is in front of me, and then I have these nice buttons on the steering wheel. And right behind the steering wheel, I have my screen here that displays my gauge modes. I can go to fuel economy, I can go to truck apps, stuff like exactly how the truck is slanted and whatnot on an angle. Say you're doing something on a construction site and it's not really smooth, the truck will tell you exactly what angle the truck is on and whatnot. I also have trailer settings that are in here, like I said, fuel economy and stuff like that. Just a bunch of information that's right here. Above the screen, I have the turbo boost gauge right there, and then I have the temperature, and of course how much gas is in the car. That's all right there, and I definitely like the way the gauge cluster is laid out in this vehicle. Now moving on to the infotainment system that you have in this car, you definitely have a nice Sync 2 system. Now Sync 3 is the newest system, but Sync 2 definitely still has its perks. It's just a little bit slower. I was using it earlier. You still have all your good stuff like navigation. Of course you can connect to your phone, answer phone calls that way, AM, FM, satellite radio, and of course you can control your climate settings as well right here. Still a very nice system and very easy to use. Like I said, it's just a little bit slower compared to the newer Sync 3 system, but it definitely still gets the job done. And then right below your screen, you also have your switches for 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive high, and 4-wheel drive low. And then moving lower below that, you also have your trailer brake controller that is already built in right here for the vehicle. And then you also have your 4 auxiliary switches, so if you want to hook up a light bar or something like that, or anything else that you want on the outside of this truck, you don't have to have any ugly aftermarket switches in here. You already have them built in, so you have 4 switches. You can just flip them up, flip them down, and whatnot. So that's very nice that Ford is already including that in this vehicle for you. So now we're going to go ahead and turn the 2016 F-350 on. Of course, it starts right up. Now this is a 6.7 liter turbo diesel engine that Ford has had in their trucks for quite a while now. At first it started off as a new engine, but now, like I said, it's been in the trucks for quite a while now. Very reliable, and I get more to that as we start driving the vehicle. So first off impressions just from turning it on, I definitely like the startup screen that comes on with the Ford built Ford tough emblem smashed into the ground. Definitely do like that. So let's go ahead and take this car on a drive. We are now setting off in the 2016 Ford F-350 Super Duty Dually, and I'm not going to go ahead and put my foot all the way down, but I will go ahead and see how we get up to speed here. Actually, you don't get up to speed as slow as you would think, especially with this being a newer Super Duty. Now, under the hood, we have the 6.7 liter turbo diesel, like I mentioned earlier. Now, this 6.7 turbo diesel is actually packing 440 horsepower, I believe, and 860 pound-feet of torque. And that basically equates to you being able to tow around 12,500 pounds. So basically, you won't have any problem with trying to tow anything, and I'm pretty sure you could tow more even with a fifth wheel or gooseneck. Exactly, and I'm sure more people could tell you about how that would work and stuff like that. But just absolutely a huge and powerful engine, and like I said, I definitely actually got the speed a lot faster than I thought I would with 440 horsepower and 860 pound-feet of torque. You definitely do feel all that torque when you're getting up to speed. And just driving here, turning it right now, you know, I honestly don't feel like I'm driving that big of a vehicle. I mean, you do have to be a little bit more aware of the fact that this is a little bit wider, especially with the dually, the four wheels that you have in the back. Excuse me, right there. You have four wheels extra in the back, so you know, there's something to keep mind of. But you know, it's not like I feel like, you know, I'm checking my mirrors every 5 seconds every time I turn. Now, of course, in a smaller parking lot or something like that, you would need to check your mirrors exactly to see, make sure, you know, you don't hit a curve or anything like that. And like I said, I mean, getting up to speed here right now pretty decently for the size truck this is. I mean, this thing weighs around 6,000 pounds, and it definitely does get up and move for its weight. I'm not saying it's fast by any means, but you know, it definitely does have that torque, like I mentioned earlier. 860 pound-feet of torque is definitely no joke, and all that torque is really for your towing capabilities. Like I said, this thing can tow 12,500 pounds from the factory. You have all your hookups in the back right there, just ready to go. Definitely a nice vehicle overall. Like I said, the outward appearance, the inside of the this truck is nice, and just cruising now at around 47 miles an hour here, and the truck is silent. You know, I do hear the engine a little, and a lot of people do like enjoying the diesel sound, because you know, it's not like a regular car or anything like that. And this has stock exhaust and stuff like that, and if you are into something like that, like changing the exhaust and just making this car making this truck a little bit more able to be heard and stuff like that, you could easily do that. But like I said, just driving or cruising right now, very smooth, comfortable ride. You know, I do feel a little bit of bumps here and there, but not too much. And like I said, it's definitely easy to drive. I'm not even holding on to the steering wheel. I don't feel like I'm driving really that big of a wide vehicle. It is easy to keep this vehicle in the lanes. Of course, you have towing mirrors, like I mentioned earlier. These towing mirrors extend, they go outwards and inwards depending on what size trailer. That's very useful. Another thing to note with this particular 2016 Ford F-350, you do not have the integrated tailgate step there, so you will have to hop up inside of the bed if you need to, but it's really not that big of a deal. It's still easy to hop up there. Truck isn't that lifted off the ground to where, you know, you would absolutely need one like the Ford Raptor or anything like that. I could hop back there, no problem, no issues, nothing like that. So that is one thing to note, that you do not have that. But one thing that you do have that is very useful are the running boards on the side of this vehicle. They definitely do help you get in and out of here. I mean, like I said, the truck isn't that big or off the ground, but you know, it definitely does help getting inside of the vehicle, having those extra running boards. And of course, visibility in this truck is very well. I can see all around me. These windows are ginormous, as you can tell from the outward shots. You know, they're just big, boxy. I can see in front of me, behind me. I have a pretty small blind spot right here because of this pillar, but other than that, I mean, it's just a ton of room right now. I can see everything, especially with this moon roof right here, letting in all the light. Just really a nice, comfortable vehicle that you can see everything around you. And just overall, Ford is a brand when it comes to trucks. They nail it every time. Ford actually, for a long time, or for a little bit of time, they had this thing saying that we own work, because the Ford F-150 has been the best-selling truck in America for years now, and just the F-Series alone, with this being the F-350, is a part of the F-Series, and it's still just, they just sell so many of them. People love these trucks. This particular truck that I'm driving right now, even though it is a 2016, the previous owner of this vehicle actually put 203,000 miles on it, and it actually has held up pretty well. I mean, of course, you have a little bit of scrapes and bruises right on the outside of the vehicle, just from, you know, hard work and stuff like this, because you can tell that he definitely did some work. And putting on 203,000 miles in 1 year, you can definitely tell that, you could definitely guess that you know, the owner would have got some stuff on there just from pushing it, like I said. But you know, just definitely an absolutely reliable, dependable truck. People have these in Canada, any weather, any terrain. Like I said, you have four-wheel drive, four-wheel high, four-wheel low, just everything that you would want to do with this truck. This truck is definitely prepared to do that. Spending my time with the 2016 Ford F-350, I can definitely tell you that it is a really big and easy to drive truck, which may be surprising to a lot of people. You have a lot of interior features that are very nice in here. Like I said, with the infotainment system, the Sync 2 system, that's a little sluggish compared to the 6.3, but it's definitely still usable. You have a huge huge truck, like I've already said, that can tow a bunch of stuff, 12,500 pounds. Definitely has a bunch of torque, just ready to go. Definitely reliable. Like I said, Ford has been doing this for a long time. They definitely know how to make their trucks. If you'd like to find out more about this vehicle, head on down to Capital Ford here in Charlotte, North Carolina. They are selling this vehicle for around $41,000, which is a really nice deal considering the fact this is a diesel and it definitely has a ton of more miles to go. If you like these videos, please hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, hit the bell icon for more content like this, that way you know when I post, and I'll catch you guys in another video.